Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. I just came out of the theater. This is a non-spoiler review. Overall, I like the movie, but we are going to talk about it using my space system. So story, pacing, artistry, characters, enjoyment. Each category gets a score between 0 and 2. 2 is the best you can get in any category. Obviously, Ghostbusters 1 is awesome. It's a masterpiece. It's 10 out of 10. Ghostbusters 2 is probably like a 7 for me. I mean, I liked Ghostbusters 2. Ghostbusters 2016 with the ladies, I'd probably give that like maybe a 2.5 out of 10. I don't think it's a 0 out of 10, but it's like, yeah, probably like 2.5 if I did my space system on it. And then we've got the Afterlife. I'd probably give Afterlife like maybe a 6 or maybe 6.5. Where does this one stack up? Let's talk about it. All right, for the storyline, I'm going to give it a 1. I like the storyline in this movie. It actually could have gotten a higher rating if not for the pacing, which I am also going to give a 1. So I'm going to give the story a 1 out of 2 and the pacing a 1 out of 2. A 1 out of 2 means it's okay. 0 is bad. 1 is good. 2 is awesome. And you could do 0.5s here and there. They're tied together in this one. See, the story is actually pretty good. While I was watching, I was like, wow, this is really good. There's a lot of, the story is somewhat simple, but there's a lot of good plot. So little interactions with characters. They kind of fix a lot of the pet peeves I had with Afterlife. They kind of fixed them in Frozen Empire. So that was good. I'm like, this is pretty good. I'm still close to giving the story a 1.5 because actually it is really neat. And we'll get to characters and all that. But just, I feel like it kind of got away from itself in the very end. And a couple of things happen at the end, which I don't want to spoil, where I'm like, there's a character introduced in the very beginning. I thought that's a kind of a fun little appearance, and then you're not going to see that character, and then that character becomes a bit bigger towards the end and a little bit too important in the end. And I thought, why is this character so important? I didn't have any problems with the character themselves. It's just, why is this so important? But there's a couple of really nice things with Phoebe, who's the little girl Ghostbuster, Egon's granddaughter. She's like the best character. She was the best character in the last movie. She's the best character in this movie. She has this really neat kind of back and forth with this other spirit. I don't want to get too much into it because it is spoiler territory, but it was done really nicely. It was a little bit of a subplot that I didn't expect in this movie, and I kind of really liked this subplot. And the overall story was still really good. I'm very close to giving it a 1.5. Had you stopped me about an hour and 10 minutes into the movie and said, what do you think so far of the story? I would have given it a 2 out of 2 because I was really into it. And I just think it got a little bit too much with this one character at the end. That ties into the pacing. The movie's only 2 hours and a bit, so I wasn't bored. So the pacing is still good. I'm giving it a 1 point for the pacing. However, if they removed some of these other little things and tightened it up, this probably could have been an hour and 45 minutes. That's what the story for me would have been. But I wasn't bored. I just felt the length. So if you could nitpick it, and maybe I could even say 1.5 out of 2. Definitely can't give it a 2 because I did have to check the watch a couple of times, just be like, okay, this is, kind of dragging on a little bit. But still overall really, really good. So for artistry, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 2. Everything looked really cool. We had the music. We had a little bit of the classic, themes in there. I like the different kinds of gadgets. They had a lot of cool ghost busting things, which was really cool to see. They got newer proton packs. They got different kinds of traps, like all this kind of stuff. The creature was pretty cool. I thought the creature was really cool. He looked pretty awesome. And his powers were neat in the way. Firstly, I like ice and snow things anyways. If I was a superhero, I'd want to be like Iceman or something and have ice powers. I love things in the winter, the snow. Batman Returns is kind of my favorite Batman movie. I love the snow. Love the frozen effects of everything getting frozen with ice. That's cool. I live in Canada. It was friggin' below. I think it was like 10 below zero today. When I saw the movie, I was in like full hoodie and winter coats. So I felt the I felt the frozen empire in me. So that was really good. Yeah, great. Everything looked good. Everything was good. I liked all that stuff. Characters, I'm going to give the characters a 2 out of 2, a perfect score. I actually liked every character. Patton Oswalt is in this, and he can be very annoying at times. He was okay. And then there's the one extra character, which I kind of thought was funny, and he was kind of a fun character. Maybe a little bit, they emphasized too much with this character towards the end. However, I still thought he was okay. But obviously, the real Ghostbusters, Ray, Egon, or sorry, not Egon, Ray, Winston, and Venkman, they're great. Janine is great. So no need to talk about them. They're all awesome. Except for Peter, Ray has a lot to do, and Winston has a decent amount of screen time as well. Ray is in it a lot. He does a lot of stuff that's very important, and I love the relationship that he has with Phoebe plus everybody else. For the other actors, I also really liked all of the characters, and I have to say something. Carrie Coon, she appears in one of my favorite shows of all time, and it's only been a couple seasons, but it's made by Julian Fellows, who has made some amazing shows. Pretty much everything he's made I've really, really liked a lot. And he did Downton Abbey. That's kind of his big one. He does a show called The Gilded Age, and Carrie Coon plays a character in that. She's one of the leads, and she's awesome. And she was great in Fargo. I think it was season 3 she was in. She's an amazing actress, and I wish they'd give her more to do in these movies, because I didn't think she was really that good in Afterlife, but I did like her a lot more in this one. But she's great. I like Paul Rudd in this. He's kind of fun. He fits in. His style fits in with the Ghostbusters, in my opinion. So that was good. Podcast is back. Travis is back. But yeah, Phoebe is clearly the best character. She has a relationship with this ghost character, and it was pretty well done. It was done really nicely, and I like that a lot. There's other new characters as well. There's this blonde guy with dark glasses. He works. So Winston has expanded the Ghostbusters thing. Like, it's like massive. So he works with Winston. This guy is the funniest. Right out of the gate, he comes in and he's like examining the containment unit, and he's like listening in. And then Paul Rudd's like, "Oh, does that device help you to hear things better?" He's like, "No, it helps me to hear things better as if you're silent." He is so funny. He's great. He's a great character. Every character is good. Oh, I forgot the black girl. I forgot her name. She was just like a kind of a throwaway girlfriend in that last one. They made her super important in this one, and she's great too. They're all great. Every character is great in this movie. I'm really surprised. Peck is back. He's pretty funny. So I loved all the characters. Enjoyment factor, I'm gonna have to give this a 2 out of 2. I'm really surprised because, Afterlife really did not kind of do it for me. I was like at a 6 maybe or so, at 6 out of 10. I think, I don't remember exactly what I gave it, but I did watch it again. I thought, yeah, it's okay. But this one was much, much better. It acknowledges Ghostbusters 2. It shows you Statue of Liberty footage coming when the Statue of Liberty came to life and stepped on things. They actually show that to you and acknowledge it, so that's good. Basically, all of the problems I had with Afterlife are kind of gone in this one. It wasn't a repeat villain. It's a brand new villain. Yes, you can have Slimer and the Marshmallow Man, but really Gozer. The problems with Afterlife was Gozer making fun of Egon and saying, "Oh, I don't believe him," and Ray saying, "Oh, F Egon, he's a nutcase," or whatever. I didn't like any of that stuff. And then, "Oh, he's a deadbeat dad now." Why were they making fun of Egon in that movie? I just did not like that at all. I thought that was terrible in that movie. And then they just fight Gozer again. It's like, we've already seen Gozer. Surely you can come up with new ghosts. They did in this one, so that was fixed. I really like this movie. I'm definitely gonna buy it on 4K. I'm definitely gonna watch it again, and I'm definitely recommending it to you. So I'm giving you 2 out of 2 for enjoyment. I'm giving this one an 8 out of 10. Really good. It is equal to. Now I know I said Ghostbusters 2 is around a 7 or so. I'd have to watch it again and really analyze it a little bit more. And I just saw this one, so I am hesitant to give this one a higher score than Ghostbusters 2. Based on just my feeling right now, I'd like to say that they're both equally cool. And I like Ghostbusters too. I don't think it's a bad movie. I genuinely like it. So I would say this and Ghostbusters 2 are let's say, tied. In some respects, this one's maybe a little bit better, but in others, Ghostbusters 2 is a little bit better. Plus, Ghostbusters 2 has the original guys in it. It's really tough to beat that. And no Rick Moranis. What the hell, man? Let's get this guy back out in here. He's a great character. And no Sigourney Weaver in this one either, so that's kind of weird. But definitely Ghostbusters 1 is still on top with a 10 out of 10. Ghostbusters 2 is my second favorite, even though I may rank it less in my space system. And then obviously the Frozen Empire, and then Afterlife, and then do we even consider the 2016 film? Do we even consider that a Ghostbusters movie? At this point, it's almost as though that movie is sort of like a bad parody of Ghostbusters that you just kind of want to not even, you want to just forget it. So there you go. That is it. If you enjoy my space rating system, please like the video, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you thought of Ghostbusters Afterlife. What's your ranking? Do your ranking. If you're going to comment, rank them away. That's it. Until next time.